Welcome everybody to Amazon AMA from East to West. I always just start these things off laughing like a big doofus, but I'm excited to be back with Brett. It's been a little while. Pretty sure I ran it solo last time, but we are going to get into this and we're going to start doing it daily. I'm just kidding. But I want to make sure we answer some questions. I know we've got I think 157 questions that we need to get through. And we got some cool stuff to talk about, new things that are happening on Amazon. Welcome, my co-host, Brett. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see your mug again. Here I am.
So here's what I think is the biggest news. One thing is, sitting in the ad console right now, literally just got a new UI that dropped.
Really?
Yeah. I think I'm sure people at Amazon have had it for a little bit, but I'm looking at it and the menu on the left-hand side is now you hover over it and there's a drop down instead of having an additional pop-up window. But what's funny is I was in it this morning, nothing was there. And then all of a sudden it just boom, popped up.
Wow. Speaking of UIs, I was in Vendor Central.
Yeah, they've updated to look more like Seller Central, right?
Just like Seller Central.
Well, what do you know? Amazon's finally catching on to the fact that Vendor Central looked awful.
I've been saying for years that they're going to get rid of it.
You know what? That they were going to get rid of Vendor Central altogether.
Yeah.
That they were going to stop selling 1P.
Yeah.
Okay. So I made a bet with somebody on LinkedIn, probably, I don't know, maybe it was a year ago now. Maybe it could be 2. But the bet was Amazon's going to stop, 1P and just move to 3P because it's more profitable for them. And I said, there's no way that they're going to totally move out of that. They're always going to stay in it in some capacity. They're going to continue to grow 3P, but 1P is going to stick around. And I was like, okay, well, in 5 years, the other person said, I think that they're going to be totally gone. And I said, okay, well, cool. They're still around in 5 years. You buy me dinner. If not, I'll buy you dinner. And the terms though were I can't remember what it was, but my terms were basically if they're still selling anything on their own, they still have a 1P business. Cause they make Kindles, they make all this other stuff. That's technically 1P. They don't have resellers that are doing that. And they're not going to get rid of those things. It's not Vendor Central for sure, but I think that's still an essential part of their business model.
Yeah, I actually think they'll keep it now.
Did I convince you?
No, well, kind of. No, but yes and no. I think there's some brands out there just don't want to deal with what we deal with on a daily basis. Just okay, PO, perfect. I'll send this in. Obviously it's not as cut and dry and black and white as that, but I think there's, Pattern, does that.
Sure.
There's agencies that kind of play that middle ground that do that as well. So yeah,
I think that's smart. It's a smart business model because it's honestly difficult to make work. So if you can and do it at scale like Pattern's doing, then I think that's awesome. But it's challenging to do because you're now taking on the responsibility, not just of being a reseller, but of really being an agency, but doing it in a capacity where you own the inventory. So it can be very, very difficult and very challenging to actually make work. So,
yep.
Well, okay. So Vendor Central is still going to be around. Cool. We established that.
Yep.
What are your predictions for Prime Day this year? Do you remember that we made predictions for Black Friday, Cyber Monday last year?
We did? What kind of predictions do we do?
I only know because I see all the content that goes out and I have to approve it. But you were saying the shopping window is much, much shorter this year. It's 26 days compared to 30 something. And so you said, I think Amazon's going to require that inventory gets in even sooner this year.
Oh,
for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was last year.
Hey man, that was your prediction, not me. Did I put you on the spot?
No, but so for Prime Day, you think? I mean, or just
No, no,
Black
no.
Friday,
That
Cyber
was Black
Monday?
Friday, Cyber Monday predictions. I
Oh,
was
I
just
think.
saying we also did those, but I'm curious, like, when do you think Prime Day is going to be? This is the 10th year. This is the decade anniversary of Prime Day.
Oh,
Like
July 10th.
July 10th. Okay, it was. I'm pretty sure it was
When
9th and
is
10th last year.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see the calendar here.
So if I look at July, yeah, 9th. It would be 9th and 10th.
Oh, it's just going to be the whole week.
Well, I was gonna say it's funny. I was literally just thinking it's probably gonna be multiple days.
Oh yeah.
I'm interested to see if it's a week, but I feel like definitely minimally 3. And I do feel like, or I feel like, I don't know exactly, but Amazon will want to do something big for Prime Day. Like maybe do some changes on the site temporarily, or just go really, really big. They're probably going to announce something new, like Vendor Central totally going away. They'll make some. I will guess that maybe they give away some Prime memberships too. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing, but they will be promoting Buy with Prime for sure, and they'll probably have a whole. They had it last year. I'm pretty sure a Buy with Prime section, or maybe it was just in the fall that they did it. But they will have not they will have some kind of, I'm sure, whatever the what's the word I'm looking for. They'll have some kind of, I don't even know what I was saying. I totally lost my train of thought. That's not good.
I think they're going to do stuff more with TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't
Like
know what. Don't
Like
know.
give away free TVs, or you mean like connected and streaming TV?
No, yeah, like more like pushing their TV stuff. Like I think their Black Friday football game was huge. So I think they'll start trying to push like that. I mean, what Netflix just got? What did Netflix just got something too, where they're getting a football game or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I forgot exactly what it is. Exclusive rights. So I feel like a lot of it's going into that realm, not necessarily product focused, but more streaming focused and things like that. So I don't know. I think they're going to push a lot of that. I think I truthfully think Prime Day is great and people kind of expect it, but it's kind of gotten diluted over a long period of time.
I feel like that's like Amazon right now.
Yeah, it's just
so
like
many brands, so many.
It's just like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Like
people expect it.
Yeah, people expect it, and then like this last holiday, my mom was like, "Oh, I need your list of presents for the kids," because I was like, "Well, you can get that same deals next week too." You know, like
Yep.
I think she mentioned on Friday, like Black Friday, she's like, "Oh, I want to get them right now," and I'm like, "Well, you can get them on Cyber Monday and probably a couple of days afterwards, like all weekend long."
Right.
So I think it's just kind of it spreads over, but to the tune of the other side, all the brands that I work with have been up and up every year. You know, it's always the first day is the strongest, second day is a little lighter. You know,
that's funny. We had a brand, I'm pretty sure last year, where first day was not as the second day was like better than the first day, but I think that was also fall Prime Day.
Yeah.
But I think the brands that honestly lean in, they see great results, like huge increase in sales velocity. Of course, sales go up, profitability goes down, but you get an advantage over everyone else. And I've seen it happen where on a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, a brand doesn't participate. You could be doing huge volume. You could be doing, $1 million a month. And if you don't lean into that time frame and all your competitors do, you're going to see your BSR go down like immediately. Now, can you stay there is a different question, but I think you get a lot if you can lean in and then really push hard to stay there, because it's not just a Prime Day only.
Well, another prediction for brands that's probably going to happen. We'll probably start to see some chirp on socials from it afterwards, going into it is all these promotional pricing and having a certain set pricing based on what promotions you might have run beforehand, like the new coupon requirements. You can't just paste coupons, Prime exclusive discount requirements, coupons
Those have been way more strict.
Yeah. So you're going to get into people that have put these together and then they're just going to get those promotions that they put together for Prime Day are just going to get nulled out, and they're going to be like, there's an issue. It's probably a pricing issue because they had some coupons on it, or they did some promotions in the trailing 60, 90 days, depending on what promotion they got in. That's just going to affect it. So there's so much ambiguity around all these promotions and how it affects their pricing right now that I think there's going to be a lot of brands kind of scratching their head going, oh no, I got to lower my prices even more.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Amazon's stronghold of like, this is a way that we know people are going to get messed up, so they can get lower pricing. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have any ambiguity because I'm right-handed, so I can't use both hands.
Isn't that that's a different term, right?
Ambidextrous. I was kidding.
Ambidextrous.
I was just making a stupid joke. So I've noticed that same thing, and I've even talked with reps at Amazon. They're like, hey, a lot of people did not really give discounts. It didn't change. My wife is an avid, or let's just say extreme cart squatter. Like, we'll sit on stuff for a year. Like, we talked about something last weekend, and I said, when did you get that? Oh, I got it on Amazon, but I waited until it went down to $7. I was like, that you are a pro at cart squatting. That is not, that takes, patience. But I noticed it as well, that things were lower in my cart, the week before. And then the following week, they were same price, but it just had a different badge. So
yeah. See, I wonder,
Prime exclusive deals or discounts, by the way, are going to have that same badge that like a lightning deal would. So it's going to be, I think it's red, but it's going to be that like red, very exciting, Prime Day deal that is hard to, like, it just drives additional excitement is where I'm going with that.
So I just pulled up Cart Squatter. I like that.
You did?
I'm going off of a totally different tangent here, but now my question is, brand tailored promotion. There's a audience there that's brand cart and abandoners.
Yeah.
For 90 days. It's customers who have added any of their brand products to their cart in the last 90 days, but haven't purchased yet. So the problem is, from my knowledge, is that if they go back on the detail page, they see the discount. Now, do they get notified on the app that, hey, this product in your cart is a lower price?
There is I don't know if I'm guessing it's probably in the app or it could be email, but they do get notified, hey, you have a special promotion, and it's just them that sees that discount when they go to the detail page.
So they get notified if it's in their cart. That's interesting. So that would be
if you run a brand tailored promotion. I mean, Amazon's going to do stuff on their own, but if you do run one, yes, they get notified.
Now, what about all these other audiences based on that? At risk, declining promise.
I've only really ever run the in the cart promotions with mixed results. I don't know how much Amazon pushes it. Oh, that was a big yawn. I don't know how much Amazon pushes it, but I do know that they get some kind of notification. I think those audiences could continue to grow and could be something exciting. I think it kind of depends upon the product too.
Yeah.
You can also now, depending upon, how you utilize DSP, there are audiences that, like inside of PackFeed, you can create an audience that is only targeting people that have items still in their carts. So basically you're segmenting your retargeting audience even more to make sure that your products are, actually finally getting the conversion. And every time I've looked at AMC level data, you add in DSP, the conversion rate goes up significantly. Like, it's hard to calculate percentages, but I've seen it go up like 8-10 percentage points. So if, sponsored brands, sponsored products, sponsored display, they get hit with every single one of those ads, their conversion rate is, 19%. You add in DSP, it jumps up to 27%. So
that's cool.
So, it's more cost. The unit economics have to make sense, but how effective do you want your ads to be? load in DSP minimally from a targeting perspective, like retargeting perspective. I think a lot of people use it as think it's just awareness only. Like you can get super segmented on the retargeting side and negate audiences that you don't want, or just go after specific ones. Way more powerful than
Yeah.
sponsored display alone.
Yeah, I agree. I think DSP is a radical tool.
I actually saw something that Srinath from IntentWise posted that DSP was the reason why Amazon's ads business really grew over the past year or so.
Yeah, it's really taking it to the next level. And I saw something Destiny posted, I think it was yesterday, about expectations around it too. Because I've had people go, oh, okay, cool, but then they see the sticker price, they're like, oh, just kidding. But like it doesn't. It's a long-term play.
It's not a short-term win.
Yeah.
You want to make sure. I talked about this with someone yesterday. Like, make sure you're deduping stuff. So, like, take your merchant token if you're selling on Amazon. Take your merchant token. Make sure that in setup you put it up inside your DSP profile so that Amazon knows, okay, this is the merchant token, so that you don't get attribution from both campaigns. Because I know a lot of people's complaints were, "Oh, DSP is taking credit for my campaigns." And like long term, because Amazon, it's only Amazon or an agency.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you run DSP. You can't do it on your own as a brand.
Yeah.
So you go with Amazon, it's going to be more expensive. A lot of people don't have good things to say about it, and they feel like they're taking credit for stuff that they are not getting. But the benefit of going through an agency like myself is we don't charge you. I mean, I don't know all agencies, but we don't charge you a minimum spend for DSP because we have our own seat. So it's all based on, aggregate. So if you want to spend, I mean, we're going to suggest a certain budget. I'm not going to say, spend $500. That's not going to move the needle much, but really think about how you're really think about utilizing the tool and how much you're willing to invest. If you want to spend, I've heard different amounts, 25 to 50,000 a month or across 2 months. If you're willing to do that, then I think go for it. But you also have to have somewhat of an audience. Like you can't really do it if you're a brand new brand unless you're legit just wanting to build awareness with Amazon's audiences. You get a lot more when you've got some time on market and you can use your own.
For sure. I think of it like pools. You're just filling up pools of audience of people. They're all hanging out in the pool, having a pool party, just waiting to buy your product.
I like the idea of pools, and you just have to know which pool has a greater affinity to purchase.
Affinity pools are nice.
I like that. More wordplay. The audience piece, I also think, is definitely something that Amazon's trying to lean more into because of how they're setting stuff up in the ad console, like sponsored displays, a lot of audience capabilities. You can set up a sponsored brand with video campaign, and if you run it VCPM, it's all based on the amount of clicks and stuff that you get as opposed to orders. But you even get priority on those campaigns at the top of search compared to normal sponsored brands. So it's an opportunity to drive greater awareness. It's not necessarily resulting in a sale, but there's ways to go about doing it as well that make sure that if someone's coming off site and then coming on site, they see that and there's recognition. So I think they're making it more about audience space now. I mean, it's still keyword targeting, but you can start going after more audience-based stuff. And I think it's hard for people to quantify because you run a sponsored TV campaign. If you look at it from a CPC basis, even if it's a CPM, some of the CPCs were like $300, which is crazy because it's like based on the click, that comes over. But it builds awareness. It's something that you could actually launch. I think it would be very challenging to do it for a small amount, but you could, let's say, spend $1,000 a month on a sponsored TV campaign. Now a brand that I don't think you're going to get a ton from that small of an amount, but now a brand that never had access to connected TV, never had access to streaming TV, they can now go and leverage that. And that to me is, it's all audience based and it's super powerful. But can you stomach the lack of ROAS right away? That's where I think most people miss out is they're like, I want a quick return on an ad spend, and it's definitely like not do sponsored products keyword targeting. Great, focus on your ROAS, but it's definitely a longer, bigger term play. But that's what big brands are doing. They're thinking about what kind of pools do I want to fill up? What are the pools I want to go after? Not just, people sitting on the chairs. That's the keywords, right?
Yeah.
If we're going to keep this metaphor going, people sitting on chairs, very targeted. Pools are, groups of people.
Yep. I agree.
So Prime Day is going to be a huge hit. Every brand's going to see 300% year-over-year growth, which is awesome. Any other predictions that you have for Prime Day?
No, I think that's it. I think it'll be a long one.
I'd be interested to see if it does go a
is.
week, like you said.
Yeah, there's always those things. I predict people will tell you to lay off your advertising before or not lay off your advertising before. There's all kinds of different strategies, but yeah, I feel like it will be a good Prime Day all around. We'll see though. Usually historically, and this is interesting, historically is during election years, sales are usually lower.
We talked about this before. Do you remember that?
We have, yeah.
Yeah, because you said people are nervous about if the person gets elected that I don't like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I think that's generally, I think people are just tighter with their wallets during election years because
of uncertainty.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Still waiting for more people to move to Canada, man. I always love that. I'm going to move to Canada. I'm going to move out of the country. It's like, okay, like it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to become a citizen of this other country. And of course never happens, but I don't know, maybe that engages someone's base.
Usually election years are always funky for all kinds of things. Housing market's all funky right now, but we'll see. It might be a year where it's pretty stagnant for some and higher for others.
I just think Amazon's going to go big because it is 10, so they're going to put a lot of media behind it. Probably going to have some celebrities. Maybe they push more on the live TV. Like, I know that's something they really want to get going. It's very expensive if you're a brand and you want to run a live TV campaign, but if you can work with an influencer or live TV, Amazon Live is what I mean.
Yeah.
So, you run Amazon Live, maybe they lean more into that. Maybe they do some kind of, QVC style marathon.
Yep. Yeah.
Big question is, will Amazon still be around next year?
That's a tough one.
Not too sure. I will say a couple other quick things. There's a lot of opportunities out there. Lots of reporting. You can dig into SQP. You can dig into search catalog performance. We've talked about that. Lots of new targeting opportunities on the ad console. And I would also just say to anyone out there, like, experiment with some of these ad types. Take some of your budget and put it towards experimentation. Do not but don't go all, broad in phrase, but maybe test out an audience. Maybe test out some broad stuff and see if it works. Maybe try to go across the aisle instead of just going for, your own products. Like, look at your market basket analysis and say, what do other people buy my products with? And then advertise on those product detail pages.
Yeah.
Use sponsor display contextual, use sponsor product attribute targeting, and go after them.
Yeah, I think a big thing there, the secret sauce of Amazon.
You have it. I have it. What is it?
Just test.
There you go.
Test everything.
I always had a problem, like, ad tech's getting more advanced, and I think you have to lean in to ad tech if you're trying to run advertising fully manual. You think you're doing yourself a disservice. And I don't think the advantage, what I was going to say is, I always had a problem with people who were saying, I just am the most smart when it comes to advertising. I know all the things, and you need, my hands on stuff, which is true. You need smart people on it. But imagine if you could utilize technology to help you do more human things, like have more focus on setup, do more research, really review optimization, and then you make higher level changes, but you allow something to do more bid adjustments for you, or set up rules, or whatever the case might be, but allow a machine that can do it in much quicker and much faster than you can, and then adjust in real-time performance with data.
Just like anything with machines, you got to set guardrails for them.
Exactly.
Like you can't just go, all right, go for it. Like you
Hey,
gotta be like,
ChatGPT, write my wedding vows. Great.
yeah, yeah. You got to set guardrails for everything. So you have to have the know-how to do that and know the guardrails and to monitor it. I'm not against it. I'm not against that at all on the ad side, but you just have to know how to do it, and that does take a human touch to it. Know what to look for,
100%.
know what to change, and um, know what to tweak, and know what to test, and say, "Hey, this isn't working." I've had many people come to me after like less than 24 hours and go, "Hey, this campaign's not working." I'm like,
What's going on?
"It's it's been 24 hours. The attribution 7 days. Like, yes, we can look at it, but it's just not enough to make a decision." So it's
If
I
your
think
campaign isn't working, do you know what Amazon's standard response is? Like once you set it up,
no,
give it 72 hours.
yeah. Well, and isn't working. You know, there's
Yeah.
a huge quote there because that's so subjective. Um, what are your goals? What do you know? Just like everything, it all depends.
Yeah.
So
Just isn't working.
in one brain, or like my ACOS was 30% yesterday. It's like,
Great.
what was your ACOS over the past 30 days? You know, or is that the right metric to be looking at for what we're trying to do? You know, all those things. And you and I both know this, but yeah. So I'm going on a tangent.
No, I like the tangent. I think you have to think about what you're actually going for. If you're just focusing on profitability, just know your top line's probably going to profitability percent. If you're just focusing on profitability percent, if you focus on profitability dollars, that's a different story. That's what our friend Chad Rubin at Prophecy would say is focus on your, contribution margin, like the money that's going in your account, not just the percent. Because you increase your price because you're like, oh, my margin's going to go up. Great. But does your conversion rate go down? Do you actually see your placement in search, your BSR, all that stuff go down because you increase your price? You have to take all those things into consideration. Like, what's your long-term goal? You can't be at a 40, 50% tacos forever if you don't have good margin. I mean, I don't think anybody can really be there, but you have to think like, what is this for? Am I looking for an immediate result, or am I trying to grow the brand long term, and then just be measuring that stuff overall?
Yep.
Who is this podcast or this AMA sponsored by again? I don't remember.
Don't know.
What brand?
Don't have anything in front of me to showcase.
Yeah. Okay. It's brought to you in part by Prince is dead, so I guess I can say that because his people, I don't know if they'll go after me or not. They've released all the catalog stuff, but
Gotta be careful.
it's also brought to you by my daughter's art and by Brett Bonin. How do you say your name?
Brett Bonin.
What's the worst? Brett Banana?
No.
What's the worst one that you've ever heard?
I don't even know.
Mine's like Mayer, Maher, or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, I really don't. I don't. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's been this AMA. I'm calling it. Time of death 2:38. 11:30. Wait, 1:12. Is it? It would be 11:28 for you, right? 11:38. 11:38.
11:38. Yeah.
I'm 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Whoa.
It's crazy how that works. But this is Amazon AMA. We are the official only Amazon AMA ever. You won't ever see another Amazon AMA. Come back.
You'll probably never see an AMA with someone in Oregon and then someone in Ohio.
That I can guarantee. Other than this one, you won't. And if someone does, I'm gonna make sure we get.
And then we'll be the only ones in Bend, Oregon, and Columbus.
So close. There's all a bunch of C cities here. Cincinnati, yeah.
Cincinnati.
Cleveland is north too. So I mean, Chillicothe.
If someone does another AMA in those two cities, we're the first.
We were the first that did it. But we will keep coming at you. You've got access to the forum, which I posted on LinkedIn. So if you want to submit questions for next time, go and submit questions for next time. We'd love to have you.
Shoot us a question on LinkedIn or X, formerly known as Twitter.
Shoot us a question on any of those. And you know what? I'll actually drop the link to the form in our chat. I think this is the public one. Ask questions for next time.
We like questions.
Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. I did not copy and paste. I needed. That's a color. That's what I. It's
What
a
color
color
is that?
scheme. It's my brand's color.
Nice.
Let's see. Ask questions for next time. There we go. I should have waited until I hit send. So ask questions for next time. We'd love to hear from you. We are the official Amazon AMA people. I can't even get through that without laughing. But this has been another episode of AMA. Over and out.